I've been to London 4 times and somehow I never went thrifting until now. And what I found completely changed the way I think about shopping in this city. Y'all, we made it to the airport, so I'm getting ready to head over to JetBlue. This is the first time I'm ever flying JetBlue ever, and I normally fly American, but I waited so late to book my ticket, and JetBlue had a great deal. So let's go get our bags checked, and let's maybe we'll go to the lounge. I visited London as a tourist. I came back to run the marathon, and I even used it as a stopover on my way to other destinations. But somehow I never experienced London's thrift and vintage scene. This time I decided to do things differently. This is the first episode of a journey through 3 countries and 4 cities where we will explore thrift stores, vintage boutiques, and luxury resale shops across Europe. Whenever I travel, I'm not just looking for souvenirs. I'm looking for pieces with history, things that tell a story, and that I probably couldn't find back home. I do have one specific mission, though. I'm on the hunt for the perfect vintage nylon track jacket. I've been searching for one for months, so we'll see if Europe can come through. Whether you're planning your own trip, love vintage shopping, or just enjoy discovering hidden gems around the world, I hope you'll come along with me. All right, let's see what London has in store. All right, y'all, I pride myself on all of my passport stamps, only to get to the UK and find out you can't get a passport stamp. You just scan it and then that's it. I wanted my stamp. WTF. I won't be flying into Heathrow anymore since I can't get a stamp. Wait till y'all see all the stamps that I got and all the passports that I've run through. Hey guys, welcome to the first day of travel. So I'm in London today and we're gonna be going thrifting. So I wanted to share with you my OOTD. The top is by Zara, the shorts thrifted, I think both thrifted in New York, hat in New York, and the Sorels that are from my new in haul. So we're gonna hit a few stores today. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you may see some things in the story over there, or just stay tuned for me to put some things in the community section. All right, y'all, let's go have some good thrifting fun. Before the shops opened, I had a little time to spare, so I stopped at Beck's Coffee for a croissant and a cup of coffee to catch up on a little bit of work. One of the things I love about traveling solo is finding these quiet moments before the day really begins. After that, it was finally time to start thrifting. My first stop was Oxfam. And it wasn't quite what I expected. It ended up being a bookstore. Not too far from that stop, over on Drury Lane, I found the Oxfam thrift store and had a chance to look through there. They had quite a few clothing items as well as some household items. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't see anything in there that particularly caught my eye, and it's a very small store. They did have a few men's ties that, again, I didn't find were very reasonably priced. I think this one is £3 or £4, and that's quite a bit when it comes to ties, but it's kind of on par to what we see in the States. Okay, the next stop was Rokit, and this store, they have two of them in London, but I only visited one. What I found in this store was a very large store, as you can see. It goes way to the back. I don't think I even made it all the way to the back. They had tons of upcycled pieces, and you'll notice some of these items look a little familiar, but they highlight local upcyclers who can put their pieces in the store, and I think that is wonderful. Lots of denim, lots of men's shirts, upcycle, pants, skirts, lots of camo, lots of upcycled jeans, handbags, and then of course a plethora of these nylon track jackets that I am always, I'm on the hunt for. And yes, I am looking for the perfect vintage track jacket, but what I'm really searching for are pieces that have history, things that you just can't find everywhere. I tried to convince the salespeople to allow me to purchase the jacket off the mannequin. It was in this beautiful blue and white, and they wouldn't give it to me. They said that they changed the mannequins out every so often, so I'd have to come back next week, and we know we won't be here next week.
That would be my thing.
All right, so she sent me to another place around the corner. She said they have a similar vibe with these shell jackets. And to me, that's something that's lightweight enough that I can pack. And it's also something that I really want another one of. I have one. It's not exactly what I want. Here we go, Pop Boutique. All right, when I told the folks there at Rokit what I was looking for and what I was on the search for, they suggested that I head over to Pop Boutique, and I hightailed it over. It was actually just right behind Rokit on the next block, so we're still on the hunt. And while I was there, they had a full rack of these track jackets, and while I was there, I tried on a few. You see, I'm leaning into the lavender and the purple. I also wanted something that had a little more color to it, so I tried that one on, but that was a bit too colorful. And then the lavender, although I liked it, the jacket was just super oversized. So I ended up passing on that, but I did look around at things in the rest of the store, and then I thought it would be fun to try on this multicolored jacket, just because the style on it was a little bit different, and I thought they had some really cute things in the store. All right, so as I was headed to my next spot, you guys, I passed by a Zara and I was like, I'm not doing it. Well, I did it. Yeah, I ended up going inside and looking around. And y'all, why did I go in there and I ended up spending like $100? First of all, everything in the store was 50% off. And when I had gone to Zara the week prior in Chicago, things were 30% off. And I don't know, I just found a better selection there. I saw this upcycle jacket. It was giving me all kinds of inspiration. So yes, it is coming to an upcycle near you. This is where I get my inspiration. But look, everything was 50% off. The dress that I bought last week was there and it was marked down. I tried on a corset. I didn't buy it though. And then I passed by Mango and said the same thing. I'm not doing it. But you guys, look what I rolled up on. Urban Revivo. I was like, oh my goodness, a Urban Revivo store. Now, if you don't know Urban Revivo, they are a clothing company. I believe they rival Zara in many ways. I feel like the quality of the clothing is so good and the styles are just all me. And the only store that we have, as far as I know, in the US is in New York. We might have one in LA, but I only know of the one in New York, and I haven't been to that one yet. So this was truly a nice surprise. Y'all, I spent too much time in there, and then I realized I'm spending too much time in here. Let me go onto my next spot because, yeah, I could really get caught up in this. All right, as I was walking, I passed by this store called Vintage Threads. I did pop in for a quick second. They had an upstairs and a downstairs, which I thought was really nice. A lot of men's clothing, some upcycled pieces, very, very high end, quite pricey, but still I think if you are in London, this is definitely a good stop to make, if for nothing else but to look and get inspiration. But yeah, the store was laid out really nice. It sits right on a corner, and they had some of their standout pieces in the window. All right, our next stop is Rain Vintage, and I'd read about Rain online and heard good things about the store, so I could not wait to go in. Soon as you walk in, like, you see a rack of clothes, you see scarves, you see denim jackets. I loved this sequins jacket, and it just reminded me, I have one of these at home. It's not quite as bright and colorful, but it is bright and colorful, and I need to incorporate that into my wardrobe at some point. I think going into the fall, sequins is going to be perfect. Anyway, they had a lot of vintage from, like, I would say like the 60s and the 70s. Lots of plaids, large buttons, all the things that you would see in your typical 60s clothing. So I wanted you all to see some of the pieces that I really liked. And then they had a downstairs, which was such a nice surprise, y'all. Oh my goodness. So when I got downstairs, that's the part that really almost took me out. I got downstairs and they had a rack full of these track jackets, these vintage track jackets, and some of them had pants to match. Do you hear me? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this. We got a mirror, we got a rack. Let's try some of these track jackets on. Not to mention, the whole downstairs was just jam-packed with clothing. Like, they had a whole nother store down in the basement. Anyway, I tried on a beautiful yellow track jacket, a beautiful lavender track jacket. Again, a lot of these were super, super oversized, and I do want it to be oversized. I just didn't want it to be that much oversized. And then this beautiful polyester one with the green and the yellow and the white and the pink. It had matching pants, y'all. Matching pants. Now, if I lived here, I would go home, sleep on it, think about it, and then I would probably come back later. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the try on. Let's head over to our next spot. Okay, you guys, Avou was a wonderful surprise. It's Avou Vital, and you would miss it if you did not see the little cloth sign on the outside of the door. You wouldn't even know that this store existed. So I went inside, and you need to go upstairs. So I got buzzed in. There was stairs to go up So I get up to the top of the stairs and there's a security guard there. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this must be good. If you gotta go through all of this. Anyway, you go in here and it's like a mini studio apartment. And it's laid out in such a way that it looks like you're walking into your grandmother's living room, where she has all of these beautiful bags. She even had a vintage Balenciaga bag, the one that's super, super popular that I want to get someday. She had a great selection of Loewe suede bags that they just don't make them like this anymore. These were gorgeous. And I felt like the prices were okay. You know, I didn't feel like anything was like too crazy. She had a couple of Chanel bags as well, which, you know, I checked out all the prices. You can see them here. Everything's in pounds. She had mostly Loewe, Balenciaga, and Chanel was most of what she had. This beautiful chocolate suede Loewe bag. I'm still thinking about it today. She also had Burberry and just all kinds. Definitely make this one of your stops. Then I started checking out the jewelry. She had some beautiful vintage Chanel jewelry and Gucci. Lots of rings, and I was happy to see that many of the rings were small enough to fit my finger. There was one that I fell in love with, and I thought about coming back for it, but then I was like, you know what? I want to save my coins for something else. Although I still think about this ring today. It has a little clover on the top, and then CC's dangling from it. And I believe this was $300, 300 pound, or may have been like 270 pounds. So that was about $300. And I just couldn't do it. I just changed my mind and decided no. But anyway, I had a few minutes to talk to the owner while I was there. Again, if you love luxury resale, then you definitely need to make Avou Vitale a stop for you in London. You won't regret it. I mean, her curation was amazing. All right, it should be around here somewhere. Maybe it's no, not there. So after further inspection, we do not think that we want to go to that store. Unexpected store, I think, is a disguise because when I looked it up online, it was a little suspect. So we are headed to another vintage store. All right, our next stop is Beyond Retro, which was not that far from Avou. As soon as you walk in, you see a cute little photo booth. So you can go in there, take your photos at the photo booth. Of course, I found a full rack of more track jackets. Still haven't really found the one that jumps out at me, but I know it's coming. Anyway, I browsed through those jackets, and then I looked through some of the dresses and went to the back where they had more men's clothes. I always like to look at men's clothes. And then I headed downstairs. Didn't realize there was a downstairs here too. I love it when shops have downstairs because it just opens up a whole new vision. Anyway, I go downstairs, and one of the things I run across is a jacket that I also own. I'm actually selling it on Threads, but yeah, they're selling it for the same price. So I felt good about that. In the basement, they did have clothing, but they also have accessories. So hats and scarves and shoes. I think I tried on a couple pairs of shoes. But yeah, very nice. Staff was really nice in there, and I think they were having a sale that day. So that's also really cool. All right, so I just got notice that my room is ready, so we're gonna go there. I've been walking a lot today, so I don't even know how far away I am right now. While I was in Beyond Retro, I got a text from my Airbnb saying that the unit was ready, so we popped back over to my Airbnb, and I just want to give you a quick tour. I stayed at the Cleveland Residencies. I was super impressed with the as soon as I walked through the door, everything was very nice and clean and orderly. Beautiful flowers at the front door. Everything was really, really nice. And I'll give you guys a little look around my room. Already brought my bags in. Full-size bed. Closet. You could definitely get comfortable. Here, a little mini ironing board, drawers at the bottom, sink over here, safe, need a counter. That's the view. Tea kettle. Can cook here if you want to. And a mini fridge. Yeah. And then you got a desk over here with a chair. And we'll come back around this way. And we have the bathroom. Walk-in shower. It's pretty small, but it'll do the trick. Hi, y'all. Yeah, little sink. And there we go. All right, we're going to get some vegetarian food. Come on, let's go. This restaurant is about 7 minutes from my Airbnb. So it feels good to be walking without that damn backpack on my back. Only reason I was carrying it around was because I had my laptop in it. And I just didn't want to leave it. I would have still been out. I would have came back just to check into the room. Well, I did have to do something for me and Brenda's video. It's going live tomorrow. I ended up going to this spot called Govindas or Govindas. And it was an Indian restaurant. I didn't realize that until I arrived, but it was vegan and vegetarian. I also wanted to be able to sit outside. I didn't sit outside, but I wanted to go to a place where I could sit outside. Anyway, all the food was pre-prepared, which was great because you don't have to wait. I had lentils, I had rice, I had a vegetable dish, I had like a piece. It looked like it was naan, but it was a little more crunchy than naan. Y'all, this food was so good. I had a dish with beans. I had some cabbage. Definitely would go back here. Again, that's Govindas. And I did take the train to get there because it wasn't super close to my Airbnb, but definitely check it out. If you're a vegan or vegetarian looking for spots, they have plenty in London. This makes me feel like I'm in DC. You guys remember
Please take care of
when I was there a few months ago and I was saying how much I miss these long escalators? I gotta go in there. As I was sitting enjoying my late lunch, early dinner, I realized that I had time to hit one more spot before they closed. So, of course, I got turned around going to the train, but I ended up getting on the train and heading over to this store that I've heard so much about. and they were 20 minutes to close. Like when I walked in, those ladies were looking at me like, did she just come in here at 5:40? Yes, I did. Anyway, I went in and I took a quick look around. They were super nice. I had heard that this place had a lot of Chanel suits and a lot of Chanel pieces. Did not disappoint. They had some great like upcycled styled jackets that I cannot wait to reproduce. I believe this one is by DKNY, and I am absolutely going to reproduce this jacket this fall. Anyway, quickly looked around, tried on a couple pairs of shoes, looked at some dresses, looked at more coats, tried on some more shoes, looked at some more shoes. I was like, I want to buy a pair of shoes, but you guys, I was rushing. I did grab a couple items before I left, and the young lady, Lisa, was so nice, and we took a selfie. So definitely, if you go by Pandora, tell her that you saw her on my channel and tell her I said hi. All right, you guys. So I checked my phone to see if Urban Revivo was still open because I had not finished. I was not done at Urban Revivo. This is one of my favorite stores. So we went back to Urban Revivo. You know, you ever go in a place and you're like, just 90% of the things appeal to you and you just want to look at it all. So needless to say, I closed up the store. I got there so late that the dressing rooms were closed. So I had to try things on right there, you know, in front of the mirror, which was fine. I had dressed for this, which is why I wore shorts and the top that I did so that I could put clothes on over it. And I ended up grabbing a few items. Okay, we just had a quick look around at Urban Revival. The reason that I rushed, all right, I tried to get back on the DJI, but it was not happening. I need to move files over. The SD card is completely full. So I want some ice cream. Yeah, I want some ice cream. It's still warm out. All the stores are closing, so there's not much I can do. It's Saturday night. I hope y'all enjoyed thrifting in London. I know it's fast, but we spent the whole day. Any of my viewers out there from London, I am planning to come back. So I need your recommendations. First of all, have you been to any of these places that I've been to? And which ones am I missing? What areas should I be going into? I promise you, I will be back. This was so much fun. And this wraps up my first full day in London. In the next episode, we will be exploring another vintage shop, and then I'll be hopping on the train to my next destination. If you enjoy seeing how people thrift around the world, I've created a playlist with all of my international thrifting adventures. I'll link it here, and I'll also see you on the next stop on this European thrifting series.